Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bottle Stories podcast, and today's episode of One Sip and One Question, which is probably going to be one sip and a lot of questions. We'll try and run through the questions rapid fire as we like to do on these shorts. But today's a little different. It's not necessarily wine-based questions, it is wine-based questions, but more about restaurant etiquette and things along those lines. So I will do my best. So wait, where's my one sip?
Okay. Should you order, if you're on a budget, or you know the wine, there's two parts to that. Should you order the cheapest bottle of wine on the list?
I see no shame in doing that. If you know the wine and you like the wine, buy the wine. If you have a very strict budget, you're probably best, if the restaurant has a sommelier, you're probably best to ask the sommelier, him or her, whether they think they can get something really cool for the budget that you have.
Yes.
And they will probably find you a better wine than what is the absolute cheapest bottle on the list. However, if you know that wine and you like that wine, buy that wine.
Go for it. Yep. So is it rude to send a wine back?
If there is technically nothing wrong with the wine, you just don't like it, yes, you cannot send it back.
It doesn't really work that way.
No.
You're not tasting it to make sure you like it.
The restaurant is not in the business of opening bottles willy-nilly to let you taste a sip. That is just not going to happen. If you order a bottle without asking for aid from the sommelier, and you just go out and you order the bottle yourself, and you open that wine, and there's technically nothing wrong with the bottle, you just don't like it, you cannot send it back. No. That is just bad form. If the sommelier recommended a bottle for you that you don't like, that's different, because that's on him or her. And then, yes, you can send it back, or just say, no, that wasn't to my liking. But if you ordered the wine and you had no one telling you what to do, and you go and you choose it, you drink it, or you take it home and give it away, whatever you got to do, but you're buying that bottle of wine.
So is there an innate responsibility to trust the sommelier?
No. Chances are they know more about it than you do.
For sure.
Chances are they know the wine list way more than you do, even if you know a lot about wine. Perfect example is our friend Francisco at Casa d'Angelo in Fort Lauderdale. Guy's unbelievable. We know a lot about wine, enormous amount about wine. Casa d'Angelo has one of the largest wine cellars in America, and one of the largest Italian wine lists in America. And we're pretty competent when it comes to wine, and especially competent when it comes to Italian wine.
And then you
look at that list and you are out of your depth. So you always ask an expert like him for help. And I actually have him now on my WhatsApp, so I can let him know we're coming in advance. And he always pulls out some pretty epic stuff every time we come. So here's a little tip for you. Build a great relationship with your favorite restaurant sommelier and let them do the picking for you, because they're going to hook you up, especially if you treat them in a way that you feel like you're friends. All of a sudden you get that friends treatment, and it's pretty wild how different your experience can be.
Just like once you know that someone is interested in that topic, whether it's this wine, or whatever it is, then they're happy to share their knowledge and to be part of that, because you want to provide an experience for people that they really are learning and enjoying it, right?
Exactly. And for most people, the sommelier either picks the wine or is told what wine they would like. He just goes to the table, he opens the wine, he pours the wine, he walks away. But to have an actual interaction and a relationship with the sommelier usually leads you to having some really funky experiences, some cool experiences.
Yeah.
And they will sometimes open wines that you would never have ordered in your lifetime, and you'll be super happy that you did.
So people always ask, how come wine at a restaurant costs so much?
Because you're not paying for wine. You're paying for glass, You're paying for someone to polish that glass, to wash that glass, the air conditioning. The seat has to make a certain level of profit in order for the lights to stay on. You're paying for the dishes, the glassware, the insurance on the building, the payroll, the breakage,
the comps because someone says there's something wrong with the food when there isn't, or all these expenses.
One thing that you need to always understand in the restaurant industry is the cost of whatever it is you're actually purchasing is going to be between 20% and 30%. If it's above 30% cost of goods, the restaurant's going to go out of business because they can't make enough money above 30% to pay all their bills. And there are certain places where it gets even harder. Grand Bahama is not a very busy restaurant market. Like for example, if I go to Nassau and I go to Marcus, for example, that Marcus is going to be packed every single day of the year, 365 days. Perfect example also is Nobu. Speaking with Bevan the other day when they were here for the tasting, Nobu does between 600 and 800 people every single day. Those numbers are staggering. Like we do 800 people a week, and they do 800 people a day. So you're talking about $40,000 to $70,000 in revenue per day. They're not having trouble meeting their bills, although they have a huge staff to pay for. Huge staff to pay for, and I'm sure that it's not cheap to have the rent in such a place like that. Insurance. Most people don't even have a clue how much insurance costs. I know for our restaurant, we pay more than $2,000 a month just for the insurance. Yep. Before you've done anything, I have to sell, 100 burgers. Yeah. Just to pay for the insurance. We haven't paid anybody. We haven't paid the rent. We haven't paid the power bill. We haven't paid for anything. It's just the insurance, and we have to sell over 200 burgers just to pay the insurance. Mm-hmm. People don't understand that.
Now, can you mark up wine that is offensive as far as the markup? Yes, of course.
Of course it is. But this is why it's so important to choose well, and why great sommeliers always have super interesting, really small production, families and farmers. The same reason that Seagate was created was to give those people a voice and give them a chance to get their wines where someone, probably would not normally put them if they don't really know a whole lot about it. Because at the end of the day, you're going to get a much higher quality wine at a much more reasonable price because you chose well when you built your wine list.
So to tie into that, what does an average diner do as their biggest mistake in ordering wine? I think not ask for help.
That is, yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, the problem is that most restaurants don't have a sommelier. No. But in a restaurant where you don't have a sommelier, but you have a pretty decent wine program, I would expect that the restaurant did some training with their staff to at least be able to recommend some things. But if you have a sommelier, just trust the sommelier. Ask for help. It doesn't matter if you're 50 or 60 or 70 years old and they look like they're 22. It doesn't matter. They know more about it than you do. It's that simple. And I know that's hard for some people to hear. And I know that there are certain generations that do not want to ask a young person thinking that they might know. Trust me, I don't care how much wine you drank from your big Bordeaux collection. These people had to go through serious examinations to get to this level and build the wine list. They've tasted every wine on the list. They know every single thing about the wines that are on the list. If you have a sommelier in a restaurant, trust them. Let them guide you because you don't know as much as them. Even if you're a sommelier, you don't know as much as the guy who built the wine list. It's that simple. I think it's absolutely the biggest mistake you can make as a guest is not trusting the sommelier. Or at least not asking. Yeah, you don't have to trust him. He might be shady.
Trust his wine knowledge.
How many bottles is too many for dinner?
While you're out.
Yeah.
I think a bottle a person is the right number.
That is an excellent answer because it seems fair and excessive
Do you want to share?
and not excessive at the same time. That's a wonderful answer. It's both excessive and not excessive all at the same time. That's an excellent answer. I agree with that theory. 1 bottle per person is an excellent theory.
Well, I
That
mean,
means so if you have 4 people at the dinner table, that means you can split a bottle of bubbles before the dinner. You have a glass of white. Each person, basically, you have one. It's like 4 glasses is a bottle. So you each have a glass of champagne. You each have a glass of white. Then maybe a second bigger white or a light red. Then a bottle of red, or you have a red and then a dessert wine if you're so inclined. We're not big dessert wine people, but there are some beautiful things out there. But if you want to go like 3 bottles and maybe a couple of whites, and absolutely, I see nothing wrong with that.
BYOB, corkage fee.
Always.
What are the parameters?
So if you want to bring your own wine into a restaurant, there's 2 things you always have to think about. Yes, you should pay the corkage fee. You shouldn't complain about it. You shouldn't even question it. I mean, unless the corkage is $150, because that's retarded. But if the corkage fee is like even $40 in a big city or $50 in a big city, those people are paying $100,000 a month in rent. Yes, $50 for a corkage is fine. In a smaller town, a smaller city, $25 as a corkage helps to pay for the glassware. It helps to keep the lights on.
The glass.
Yeah, it pays for the person that has to clean up after you. $25 is no problem, and you've also taken away their chance to make a profit off their wine list. Now, our rule for wines on our list, you can bring a wine into our restaurant. We have over 700 wines on our wine list. We have one of the 1,800 largest wine lists in the world. So if you come into our restaurant and you bring your own bottle, that's fine. There is a corkage fee. It's not very expensive. But if you bring a bottle that we have on the list, hell no. You can't bring your own bottle if we already have that bottle on the list.
If you have a bottle because it's been a special occasion or
your birth year or
you're with someone who you were at that winery together and you brought the wine.
Or you know our restaurant and you know that we don't have California wine and you want a big California wine with your dinner. I have nothing. I don't have the wine on the list for you, so absolutely bring your California wine and you do your thing. But if I have the wine on the list, like if you want to bring in a big Bordeaux, and
we have it on the list?
Absolutely no, absolutely.
You can have
no
that
chance.
your next stop.
Yeah, not even that, but I might actually just kick you in the ass and throw you out. But that's just because people being that clueless. Really,
well, like,
it really is offensive.
We go places for wine, right? So our choices are based on what we want to consume when we're there, or at least what choices we have when we're there.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you're somewhere that has limited choices and the places that you are going also have limited choices, then of course, if you have something special, bring it.
Yep, I got no problem with that.
Yeah.
And there you have it. I hope you have no problem with this. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you again next time. Cheers.
Cheers.